This is the Sakar Murali of the 30th of August 2023. Essence. Sweet children, to take an oath for purity is true Rakshabandhan. Only once in a cycle does the father tie this Rakhi on you children. Question. Why do those who promise to remain pure receive a signal to stay in yoga? Answer. Because it is with the power of yoga that you can make the atmosphere peaceful. Yoga is the only way for you to give everyone in the whole world the inheritance of peace. You remember the Father in order to spread peace throughout the world. You will remain uninfluenced by Maya to the extent that you remember the Father. The Father's order is, children, be bodiless. Song. O brother, fulfill the responsibility of the bond of this Rakhi. Om Shanti. The unlimited Father's order to you children is, remain bodiless. That is, have the faith that you are souls, and consider yourselves to be separate from your sense organs. The body depends on the soul. When the soul leaves, the body is of no use, and is therefore cremated. When the soul leaves, the body becomes a corpse, rubbish. When there is rubbish, it is said, burn this rubbish. This body is useless without a soul. Therefore I, this soul, am immortal. The body each of you receives to play your part is mortal. When the soul leaves, the body is of no use. It begins to smell. A soul without a body remains in silence. The Father explains, the original religion of you souls is silence. You know that you souls actually reside in the Supreme Abode. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, also resides there. When there is sorrow, everyone remembers the Father and says, free us from this sorrow. It is souls that experience happiness and sorrow. There are many sannyasis, etc., who say that souls are immune to any effect of action. However, this is not so. Alloy is mixed in souls. When pure gold has silver mixed into it, it changes from 24 karat gold to 22 karat gold. When impurities are mixed into real gold, the jewellery is said to be gold-plated. The soul is the important thing. The Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is the Father of souls. He comes at this time and says to his children, now renounce the consciousness of your bodies. I am a soul and I am going to the Father. We are the Pandavas. This is the plan of the Pandavas. First there are Yadavas, the people of Europe, then Kauravas, and then there are the Pandavas. The great Mahabharat war definitely did take place, after which there were cries of victory. This Raj Yoga is for the new world of heaven. There were cries of victory for the Pandavas, and everyone else was destroyed. There are cries of victory in the Golden Age. The people of Bharat celebrate the festival of Rakhi. They tie Rakhis. You children now know that your Rakhis are only tied once, through which you remain pure for 21 births. Therefore the one who ties these Rakis is definitely needed at the end of the Iron Age. Who comes and ties those Rakis? Who inspires you to make this promise? The Father himself and his children who are Brahmins. You are true Brahmins. It is Brahmins who tie Rakis. The system of a sister tying a Raki on her brother is a false system. Elderly people remember that earlier a Brahmin priest would come to tie a Raki of thread. They never said that you have to remain pure. They don't know what is meant by purity. Therefore, this festival of Raki must surely have its origins in the Confluence Age. How many years has it been? 5,000 years. The Father came at the Confluence Age and tied these Rakis, and we remained pure from the beginning of the Golden Age to the end of the Silver Age. Then this festival of Raki began on the path of devotion. People say that this festival has been celebrated from time immemorial, but that is not so. We only tie Rakis once in every 5,000 years. Since you become impure from the Copper Age onwards, you have Rakis tied every year. Just as people burn Ravan every year, in the same way they have Rakis tied every year. In fact, you are the ones who understand the meaning of this. The Father comes and says, "Children, make a promise." Nothing happens simply by having a Raki tied. You have to take the oath, "Baba, I will now remain pure." So these festivals are fixed in the drama. There is no need to have a Raki tied in the Golden and Silver Ages. That is the viceless world. Now it is your stage of ascent. Later, when you have to descend, we will then have become Sattvaprajna deities again. You Brahmins say, "We are now the children of God, and we will then become deities." It is the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, who makes you into those. The incorporeal Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, changes you from humans into deities. Human beings cannot make you into those. People have inserted the name of a human being. They have also depicted Sri Krishna in the Copper Age. At the end of the Iron Age, you become pure from impure. Then the Golden Age comes. If he were to come in the Copper Age, his name would have disappeared in the Iron Age. However, that is wrong. Only when it is wrong does the Father come to put it right. Everyone is now false. Maya is false, and bodies are also false. The Father comes and makes us children true. No one tells lies in the Golden and Silver Ages. Here people commit sin and tell lies. Only the Father can transform sinful souls into pure charitable souls. At the time of Deepmala, the people settle their accounts for the whole year. Your account of sin of half a cycle is burnt away, and you begin to accumulate an account of charity. It is only when you accumulate here that you will receive the fruit of it for 21 births. Only by remembering the Father will your sins be absolved. You must not commit any new sin. Each of you has to end your old account. Some tell the Father, "Baba, I have committed such and such a sin." Acha, half is forgiven. Even if you have committed sins in your childhood of this birth, by telling Baba, half the punishment will be cut away. However, you still have to make effort for the other half. From your life story of this birth, one can also know about your previous birth, because each soul carries his sanskars with him, and the stage of the soul can be understood. You understand that day by day your stage has been falling. The world continues to become Tamo-Pradhan, and sins continue to increase. The Purifier Father now comes and ties a Rakhi on each of you. That is, he makes you promise to become pure. Time immemorial means that every 5,000 years you have this true Rakhi tied on you by the Father. Then this custom and system continues for half a cycle. There is great importance given to it. The foremost importance is given to the tying of Rakhi. This festival is the main one. The highest festival of all is Shiv Jayanti. No one knows him or when he comes, or what he does when he comes. Everyone knows when Abraham, Buddha and Christ came. No one knows the history and geography of what existed before them in the Golden and Silver Ages, how the kingdom of the deities was established, and how long it lasted. No one knows this. They say that Lakshmi and Narayan of the Golden Age were all virtuous, 16 celestial degrees full and completely viceless. Lakshmi and Narayan were the Emperor and Empress. There has to be their childhood too. However, no one knows their childhood. Radha and Krishna have been falsely shown in the Copper Age. All of that comes from the imagination of human beings. They have even elongated the duration of the Golden Age to hundreds of thousands of years. It cannot be that long. They themselves say that 3,000 years before Christ there was definitely the kingdom of the deities. In that case, how can they estimate the Golden Age to be so many years long? This is a simple thing, but Maya has turned everyone's intellect to stone, so that they have completely forgotten that they were deities. When the number one becomes Narayan, he doesn't have this knowledge. His knowledge disappears. The Father says, I am now giving you the knowledge for becoming deities from human beings. What more can be taught once you become deities? There would be no need. You understand the meaning of the festival of Rakhi. All of these festivals also take place every year. A huge Kumbh takes place where the ocean and the river meet. The meeting of the ocean and the Brahmaputra river is famous. The Father is the ocean. This Brahmaputra is the first one to emerge from him, and then there is gradually expansion. The meeting of the ocean and the Brahmaputra river can be clearly seen. There, rivers Ganges and Jamuna, they have a meeting of the rivers. There it is clearly visible that one river has clean water and the other has dirty water. A Mela takes place every year. Every year people go there to bathe in order to change from impure to pure. You are now at the confluence age. You have truly come and met the ocean of knowledge at this time. This is the beautiful meeting of the confluence age, in which the meeting of souls with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, takes place. You children know that all the religious festivals that are celebrated belong to this time. Today it is the festival of Raksha Bandhan. Baba has brought a few Rakis with him. Now Baba asks you, those who want to have a Raki tied on them by Shiv Baba, raise your hands. At first only 2 to 4 raised their hands. Then Baba asks again, raise your hand if you want a Raki tied on you by Shiv Baba. The majority then raised their hands. Have you not all become pure that you need to have a Raki tied? Bapdada then asked Mama. Mama replied, the Raki has already been tied. Just look, Baba was testing you children and you all failed. Mama gave the correct answer. You are pure anyway. However, the rest depends on imbibing knowledge. You will continue to receive treasures. You must continue to accumulate these treasures for as long as you live. You are pure, but by staying in remembrance, you make the atmosphere peaceful. You are giving the inheritance of peace to the whole world. You make a promise of purity. You remember the Father in order to spread peace. You know that to whatever extent you remember the Father, you will accordingly not be influenced by Maya. Storms of Maya will also come. The Father teaches you children to become Trikaldashis, the seers of the 3 aspects of time. You understand the beginning, the middle and the end of the drama. Your forgetting is also fixed in the drama. And this is why I have to come again and teach you children Raj Yoga. Although people celebrate Shiv Jayanti, they don't know the meaning of it. Baba has brought a Raki to class with him because a new child has come. This is taking the initiative. Baba, I am going to have a Raki tied on me. Purity is first, and so why should I not become pure and claim my inheritance from the unlimited Father? The unlimited Father says, for half the cycle, you have been floundering in the gutter of poison. These are the extreme depths of hell. You have been floundering for 63 births. So now make a promise. Baba, I too will go to the pure world and claim my inheritance of happiness. However, some do not have the courage. This is the Mansarovar lake of knowledge. By bathing in this knowledge, human beings become angels of heaven. The people of Bharat built temples to Lakshmi and Narayan, etc. But they don't know when they came. And so that is blind faith. The Father has now come to make you children become like himself, master oceans of knowledge. A barrister teaches his pupils and makes them become like himself. Then they all pass, number-wise, according to their efforts. Similarly too, this is a study. The aim and objective has been clearly written. There is also the image of Shiv Baba. However, people don't understand anything. They sing, O purifier Sita Ram. This is the community of Ravan. This is why the Father says, examine your face and see if you have become 16 celestial degrees full, completely viceless. Do you have the faith that you are a soul? Who is the Father of you, that soul? If you don't know him, you are an atheist. In that case, how can you, an atheist, marry Lakshmi or Narayan? You understand that you definitely belong to the community of monkeys, and that you are now becoming worthy of marrying Sri Narayan. The Father says, I have come to liberate you from the kingdom of Maya, Ravan. You will then no longer need to burn an effigy of Ravan. This is something to be understood. The more effort you make, the better the inheritance you will claim. Baba can tell you what you will become according to your present efforts. Nowadays, the death of human beings is very cheap. There, when your lifespan ends, you will know straight away that you have to shed those bodies and take new ones. When new souls come down, they are praised a great deal at first. Then the praise gradually decreases. Everyone has to pass through the stages of Sato, Rajo and Tamo. Baba comes and makes you Sato Pradhan. It is a wonder that so many billions of souls have received their own imperishable parts, which can never be destroyed. Souls are such tiny points, and yet they have their entire imperishable parts contained within them. This is called the wonder of nature. New ones cannot understand these things. These are very deep matters. Shiva's form has been shown in this way. If we were to change his form, people would say that our views are different from those of the rest of the world. You are now listening to new things for the new world. Then, after a cycle, it is you who will come to listen again. Therefore the Father, the Purifier, made you make a promise, and those who made this promise will become the masters of heaven. This is why this festival is celebrated. You are true Brahmins. Saraswati has been remembered as the highest Brahmin. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long-lost and now-found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bapdada. The spiritual father says Namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual father. Essence Vedana 1. End your old account of sin and accumulate in a new account of charity. Stay in remembrance and make the atmosphere peaceful. 2. Promise to remain pure and tie a true Rakhi on everyone to make them become pure. Blessing. May you become a true server and have a happy temperament by always eating and serving others with Dilkush, happy heart sweets. Those who eat a Dilkush sweet every morning at Amrit Vela stay happy throughout the whole day, and others who see them also become happy. The nourishment of Dilkush makes any situation become very small. It changes a mountain into cotton wool. So constantly stay aware that you must eat this Dilkush sweet and that you must also serve it to others. When your mind is constantly happy, even in a situation of tears, you will then be said to have a happy temperament. Even your face does service. Your face reveals the personality of this knowledge. Slogan. Every thought of those who inspire many to make their lives elevated are those of charitable souls. Om Shanti.